asked a lot of questions about this, so I think it's time that we discuss this matter in detail. The industry is shifting and fast. Previously, pre-fanned lashes were made solely by machines with very heavy knots of glue at the base, so they were frowned upon, rightfully so. The heavy amount of glue that was located at the base made them just too heavy to properly apply to the natural lash, causing severe damage to clients' lashes. Like any industry, advancements occur and we find ways to innovate products, making them much more user-friendly. The lash industry is rapidly growing, which means changing and shifting is an undeniable must. So here's where the changes have been made. Instead of relying on machines for these products, we now have highly trained technicians who make each individual fan by hand and actually fuse them at the base with a heat bonding method, which eliminates that thick and chunky base. Just because these innovative products have been introduced to the market doesn't mean that cluster fans or pre-made fans that were made by machines don't still exist. They do, but now luckily we have pro-made fans that really are sleek and tiny at the bottom without that extra weight. The difference here is strictly quality. Pro-made fans are in a league of their own where high quality fibers meet highly trained technicians who really do make perfect fans almost every time, while making it easier for the technician to learn and use. This isn't meant to discredit handmade volume fans. These are beautiful and this is an art, but even a seasoned tech sometimes needs to get clients in and out the door, whether it's the rush of the Christmas season or a client is on a lunch break. Sometimes they need a little bit of assistance in getting these clients in and out. Pro-made fans are great for assisting in this because they're applied in the same timing as a classic set. Many technicians use these for speed lashing, which in between their handmade sets, they'll still use pro fans to get clients in and out and up their income, so they're seeing more clients in the run of a day. You'll probably see comments on forums or on Facebook or Instagram or wherever of technicians who make their own handmade fans who truly disagree with the pre-fanned industry. What we find confusing about this is if we're using pre-fanned lashes, but a handmade technician is crystallizing their handmade fans, isn't it the same thing? So what crystallizing your handmade fans means is preparing them before a service. So a handmade fan gets made and then dipped in a little bit of glue and laid to the side so that it speeds up your application and perfects the fans that you're putting on while you're working. But in this case, since you're double dipping the glue, isn't a heat bonded pre-fan actually lighter? The only real difference here is that it's heat bonded and someone else is making your fan for you, which actually saves you a lot of time. That's some food for thought. But another really nice thing about having the pro fan option in our industry is we work with our wrists a lot, and sometimes people injure their hand from something unrelated, but often we see carpal tunnel. And so if you're a technician who has carpal tunnel or a hand injury and you can't sit there and make each individual fan while you work, then what do? We've had so many people write us and say thank you for offering a solution to this. They're now able to get that client in half of the time, which means that instead of retiring from the industry like they initially thought, they can still keep lashing. Another common question we hear is, well, will a pre-made fan last as long as a handmade fan? This is such a good question, and we wondered the same thing in the beginning. So what we did was a 6-month-long experiment before we started Lost Artistry Lash. During this experiment, we had 50% of our clients receive handmade fans and 50% of our clients receive pro-made fans. At the end of our 6-month experiment, we concluded that there's zero difference in the retention of a pro-made fan versus a handmade fan. The only difference is that clients were able to get in and out of a service much faster while using pro-made fans. And all of this while never compromising the health of their natural lashes. Clients actually loved coming in on their lunch breaks and getting out of a service much faster than ever before. So now let's take a look at our chart of classic weight versus volume weight. You can see here that the volume lash is much tinier and lighter than a classic lash. Although glue isn't an issue anymore, we still do see a lot of technicians really worry about the weight of the pre-fan lashes. If weight is something that you might be concerned about, you should check out our video on Instagram TV or on our Instagram feed. We talk about the difference between the weight in a classic lash versus a volume lash. So in this, we discuss how you can't beat math. It might be something that you want to check out even if you're not super concerned about this, because it is really interesting. If we can have 44.03 volume lashes weigh the same amount as a 0.2 lash, and we would almost never put 44.03 lashes on one individual lash, but if this math makes sense, then doesn't that mean even if they were double dipped in glue, wouldn't it still be light enough for the natural lash? So that concludes today's video, but as always, if there's any questions about this whatsoever, please reach out. We are eager to educate on this, as we truly believe that this is the future of lashing.